I was listening to the Jensen Huang podcast on Joe Rogan, and he talks about how Nvidia became a powerhouse and a titan. Now, I'll save you from the cliche stories of we didn't have no money, we nearly lost it all, and this, that, and the other. But I'll tell you a story he had with Sega, and he was in a deal in which Nvidia basically couldn't fulfill their promise or their contract to Sega. And so whatever this contract was valued at, essentially it was $5 million left. And Jensen and the guys at Nvidia went and asked Sega and said, can we still get that 5 million even if we don't deliver on the promise? Essentially, they were asking for 5 million for no fucking reason. You know, we've taken about 10, 15 million off you. We've fucked it, right? We've not even used the money wisely. But what we're saying is, can we still get that last 5 million and just save the company, right? And so Jensen wore his heart on his sleeve. He was truthful and broke it down exactly to the Sega executives and CEO. And after a few days of deliberation, Sega, with really no benefit of their own, you know, this is a company that's about to go extinct, and this is a time where 5 million is a lot of money, still decided to give Nvidia the money. Now, of course, if they held on to this 5 million, I think today it'd be worth something like 1 trillion. But it goes to show you that don't be afraid to ask people for help, especially those you're senior. And on the flip side, to those who are senior, don't be afraid to take a gamble, especially if you see some tenacity, if you see some goodness. You know, the executive at Sega ends up saying that the only reason he gave the money to Jensen and Nvidia was because he liked them. It's simply he saw a young man who was excited, opportunistic, bright, and he just believed in him. And so when Nvidia went public, Sega eventually sold out and they got their money back. But it's a nice story to show you that, man, don't be afraid to ask, man. Ask and you will get. And if you don't ask, you'll never even give yourself that chance, right? And so think about how ludicrous it was. You know, the context of the story is even crazier when you look into it. You know, Jensen had 2 children. He left them, he went to America, he went to Japan, left America, went to Japan, and just asking for 5 million with not a fucking Scooby. And somehow today, he's one of the most powerful men in the world, contributing to anything and everything AI, man. And it started with making games for Sega. So if that isn't a bit of motivation for your weekend, I don't know what is, man.